Namaste everyone, Hari Om. Start. Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye Dorbhiryukta Chaturbhis Sphatikavanimaye Akshamalam Dadhana Hastenaiken Padmam Sitamapi Chashukam Pustakam Chaparena Bhasa Kundendu Shankha Sphatika Maninibha Bhasamana Samana Same Vagdevateyam Nivasatu Vadane Sarvada Suprasanna Pujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmikir Munisimhasya Kavita Vanacharinaha Shrinvan Rama Kathanadam Konayati Param Gatim Goshpadīkrita Vārāshim Mashakīkrita Rakshasam Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam Vande Nilatmajam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakāñjalim Bāshpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam Vaidehi Sahitam Suradrumatane Haime Mahamantape Madhye Pushpakamasane Manimanye Virasane Sustitam Agre Vachayati Prabhanjanasute Tattvam Munibhyah Param Vyakhyantam Bharatadibhih Parivratam Ramam Bhaje Shyamalam Namostu Ramaya Salakshmanaya Devyai cha tasyai janakatmajayai Namostu Rudrendrayamanilebhyo Namostu Chandrarkamarudganebhyah. Okay, so we'll start. So I think last time we had started looking at Balakanda. The first sarga of Balakanda is popularly known as Sankshepa Ramayanam. I assume that many people you would be knowing the chanting. So we are going to look at the Sankshepa Ramayanam in detail, all the 100 verses. We had just started with a few, so we will continue. Before that, just to give you a gist of the Balakanda, I think last time I did not show you this. You can just have a look. Sarga 1. This is the Sankshepa Ramayanam. So 100 verses that will summarize the entire epic. So if you want, you can note this down. I will also share it on the group later. On the group, I have shared a few slides. So that is, I think the introduction, that is the Dhyana Shlokas, then a bit of introduction, and also about Ravana's character. So looking at that, you can note all that. With regards to Balakandam and Sankshepa Ramayanam, I will be sharing it soon. So this is the gist of Ramayana, that is the first sarga of the Balakandam, or you can say the first sarga of the entire Valmiki Ramayanam. It is in 100 verses, the entire Ramayanam has been summarized. So if you want, you can note this: Balakandam, Ayodhya Kandam, Aranya Kandam, Kishkinda, Sundara Yuddha, Uttara, and then you have the Phalashruti. So we had just started looking at the Balakandam of the Sankshepa Ramayanam last time. So this is for your information, you can note now. So we had also looked at all this. And this is also Balakandam, if you want, in a nutshell. It is in short what it is. Sargas 1 to 4, chapters 1 to 4. You have Valmiki's conversation, then that is the Sankshepa Ramayanam. Then how Lavakusha start reciting the Ramayana. Then chapters 5 to 7 is about Dasharatha and Ayodhya. So you can consider a bit of Ayodhya Kanda. Chapters 8 to 18, Rama is born, different gods incarnate as different Vanaras and so on. 19 to 23, Lakshmana and Rama, they accompany Vishwamitra. 24 to 31, Tatakavada, different weapons Rama gets from various sages. Then you have different legends that have been told, like the birth of Kartikeya and so on. Then how Ganga river comes on earth, and you have the churning of the ocean story. Now this Samudra Mantana Katha, you can find it in many Puranas as well as in the Ramayana, Mahabharata and so on. So it is considered as an important topic. So next is Ahalya Shapamoksham, then Vishwamitra's story. How earlier he was a king and then how he got transformed into a sage and so on. Finally, the Rama Sita Kalyanam, then you have Rama and Parshurama, and then how they start living in Ayodhya after marriage. So with this, the entire Balakandam ends. And the start, so in Balakandam itself, now Bala means childhood, but Balakandam ends with the marriage of Rama and Sita, and then Ayodhya Kanda starts with what happens later in Ayodhya, how Kaikai's mindset changes, and so on. So this is in general Balakandam, and also Sankshepa Ramayanam we have seen, we have just started. This is a gist of Sankshepa Ramayanam. Okay, now we will continue. So last time, if you had seen, we had seen about the first 17 verses of the Balakandam, wherein the different qualities of Rama have been told. So in that, Sacha Sarvagunopetaha Kausalyanandavardhanaha Samudra iva gambhirye dhairyena himavaniva. So wherein one who is so great like the Himalayas itself, and one who increases the happiness of his mother Kaushalya. And for this we had also seen a reference verse from Shishupalavadam written by Magha, a great Sanskrit poet, saying that Rama is one who has got both physical and mental capacities. We have to be physically strong as well as mentally strong. So Rama was like that. Having only physical strength but mentally very weak is of no use, and vice versa, mentally strong but having no physical strength is again of no use. So balancing both physical as well as mental qualities is very, very important, and these qualities were seen in Rama. So this reference we get from the Shishupalavadam. So we'll continue. Verse 18. Vishnuna sadrisho virye somavat priyadarshanaha kalagni sadrishah krodhe kshamaya prithvi samaha. Now those who have the original Valmiki Ramayanam books with you, you may also refer to that. If you find it uncomfortable referring to the screen, maybe you can just you can also keep your Ramayanam book handy, or maybe a notebook if you want to note down something. There also you can note down. Now here Vishnuna sadrisho viryaha, Rama here is compared to Vishnu. Now why here this comparison has been made? You'll be wondering. We all know that Rama is an incarnation of Vishnu himself. So what is the need to compare Rama to Vishnu? Please note that when an incarnation takes place, the person, though he is Lord Vishnu or it can be Lord Shiva, Ganesha, whomever it is, at that incarnation they attain that form during that incarnation. Now Rama, he is a Naravataraha, that means he is a man. So at that time we cannot compare him to Lord Vishnu at all. Only you can say like Vishnu, like just other normal human beings, like how we make everyday comparisons. Like he looks very smart, or he walks like you can say he walks so beautifully. His gait is like an elephant, G-A-I-T. You would have heard such terms, right? Or he is so strong like a lion. We make such comparisons. Doesn't mean that the person is lying, but we make a comparison, right? Or she sings sweetly, very sweetly, like so and so. Or he plays cricket very nicely, like so and so. We compare with other people or with things. That doesn't mean that the person is changed into that, but mere comparisons are done. So in this context also, Rama is compared to Lord Vishnu in valor. Valor is strength, physical strength. Now here why it is said so, because when Rama Avatara takes place, Rama is not Vishnu, he is a normal man. So though he has got divine qualities, doesn't mean that Rama is Vishnu. So therefore this comparison has been made that considering Rama to be Naravataraha as a man, his strength is equal to Lord Vishnu. And Somavat, Somaha is a moon. Now moon is always considered to be a symbol of beauty in our literature, especially in Sanskrit literature. Very cool, pleasant, beautiful, that is nothing but the moon. Priyadarshana, very pleasant to look at like the moon. Now if you look at the sun and the moon, we cannot look at the sun directly, right? Or most of us, we don't like the sun at all. Whereas the moon is always pleasant to look at. You can look at the full moon at night. So therefore moon is considered to be always pleasant, beautiful, and so on. So Rama is also beautiful and very attractive like the full moon. Kalagni sadrishah krodhe kshamaya prithvi samaha. Kshamaya is forgiveness. Now earth or bhumi is always, or prithvi is always compared to, you can say kshamaya is forgiveness or perseverance. It is continuous efforts. Whatever happens, the prithvi does not move, right? She is very, very, you can say very tolerant. That is the reason why we are building so many roads today. We are doing so much of construction. Every day we are stamping the goddess earth. In spite of all this, she is suffering, she is being silent, she is being very tolerant. So these qualities are there even in Rama, says Valmiki. And Kala Agni Sadrishav Krodhe. But at the same time, Kala Agni, he can also get angry just like fire. Just like fire can burn everything if it starts. You can know forest fire, right? A small fire starts somewhere, the entire forest is burned. Similarly, Ravana and all the Rakshasas, one Rakshasa causes trouble, or one act of Ravana of abducting Sita ended up in his entire army's destruction as well as his own destruction. So we cannot play with Rama at all. He is very perseverant, but at the same time, his Krodha also can end a person's army and lead to destruction. Now here, Dhanadena Samastyage Satye Dharma Ivaparaha. One more beautiful comparison is there, is that Dhanadaha is another name for Kubera, the lord of wealth. So now Kubera, because he has got a lot of wealth, he is known for always Dhanam, Paropakaraha, charity, benevolence. So Rama also, whatever he had, he was always known to give it. That's how we have the famous Rama Rajya reference that we give today. In the kingdom of Rama and Ayodhya, no one was ever sad, it seems. So whatever people used to ask, before someone coming and approaching Rama, Rama used to give them. And Rama used to ensure that his treasury was also full. And while his treasury was full, it's not that he used to use the treasure only for his or his own family needs. The entire people of Ayodhya, the entire city of Ayodhya was benefited. Rama used to donate. That is the reason why this story is not there in the Valmiki Ramayanam. But after the marriage of the four brothers, Rama, Lakshmana and so on the outskirts of Ayodhya there was a small village, or you can consider a small town. There they used to have, now if you go to small villages and towns, you will see that there are a few rituals that those people do. It will not be very popular. Like for example, now certain festivals like say Deepavali, Holi, or maybe Ganesh Chaturthi, these are all common, right? If I say that I am celebrating Diwali, there will be no one who says, no, I have never heard about Diwali, right? All of us, we celebrate in our own ways. Maybe our ways of celebration are different, but surely there is no one who says that, no, I have not even heard about this festival, right? So these are quite common. But yes, there are a few rituals, few festivals that are celebrated only by a certain group of people, right? Maybe in villages, even today if you go to your own village, you'll see that a few traditions, few customs, you can see only in your village that is done. Or forget about village, even a few customs, they are restricted to one's own family also. No, this is being done only in my family. This tradition is followed in my family, right? So maybe, or even cooking a particular dish, say for example any food item also, the ways of cooking differ. No, in my family this is how my grandmother used to cook, so I am also cooking it in the same way. So here is where we see differences. So similarly, on the outskirts of Ayodhya also, there was a small town wherein those local people, they were having their own festival. It is said that after marriage, Rama and all the four brothers, they went there. So like the king and the prince himself, the royal family themselves, are coming and meeting the people, and there it is said that he has donated in thousands and thousands just for those rituals to be done properly and for the benefit of those people celebrating that festival. It was not even inside Ayodhya, on the outskirts of Ayodhya. So why I give you this example is, this shows how benevolent not only Rama, even Dasharatha, the entire Raghu dynasty, King Raghu himself, just to give you a reference, you have a famous incident in Raghu's life, King Raghu, after whom the entire Vamsha, Raghu Vamshis, they are known as. It is said that once he donated everything to this extent that his entire treasury became empty and he himself became like a beggar. So if someone came and asked him something, he had to first ask it to someone else in order to give it to someone who is asking. So this was the amount of benevolence and charity that the Raghu Vamshis had. Rama was no exception to that, so therefore it is mentioned Dhanadena Samastyage Satye Dharma Ivaparaha, and he is like Dharma. Dharma himself is one who is very stringent in following rules. That is the reason we know that in spite of many personal disputes, personally, like maybe it can be leaving Sita in the forest or many other situations also, on a personal level or on a family level, Rama had to fall down, and that's the reason why till date few people we look at Rama saying that though we say Rama is a family man, he was a one, still at least 5% or so we look at Rama with one level below, saying that no, he left Sita in the forest, or few things were not done properly by Rama, right? But he was the one who had to follow different rules under the name of Raja Dharma, under the name of Pati Dharma, and so Putra Dharma. He was the one who had to follow rules. He was very stringent in following Dharma. So with this, the Balakandam part of Sankshepa Ramayanam ends. Now just to characterize. This is like a learning for all of us. How Rama is a complete man, that is physical strength that he has. Now please note one thing, that maybe for us today, physical strength does not matter much. The reason being, why in the case of Rama, physical strength has been mentioned in many places. The reason being that he belonged to a Kshatriya clan. So the first dharma of Kshatriyas is to protect their own people. And for protecting the people from enemies, they have to be physically strong, physically capable. So therefore, physical strength has been highlighted and mentioned everywhere. But how we can relate it to our lives is that physical health that we have. Today, many of us, especially after the pandemic times or so, we have become very serious about our health, right? It's not that earlier there were no problems and so on. But only when a calamity hits upon, only when some disease comes upon, we become more serious, we become more conscious, right? So that is the reason when our grandmothers were telling us to wash our hands and feet for so many years, we ignored. But now, from outskirts only, you have to put your sanitizer, this and that, only then we allow someone to enter. So nothing is new, we have not invented anything. Only thing is, only after a calamity, a disaster has come in, we have realized its importance. So your physical prowess, that is, or physical strength that has been mentioned everywhere, that has to be compared to one's own physical health. Only if you are physically strong, physically capable to do things, you can do anything. Mentally I am strong, I can do this, I can do that. But physically, if you cannot get up from your bed, what is the use? Therefore, health is a very essential component. Second is one's character. That is the way we believe. There is a situation, how you handle that. Maybe some problem comes in our life, how we handle that, the way a person handles. That is the reason why, you see, there are a few people, or we ourselves also, we always give examples, right? You know, such a situation came in my life also 50 years back. You know how I handled it? I did so and so. We tell our future generation, right? Or we tell our friends around, we tell the people around. The same situation came into my life. What I did then, I did it some other way. You also can follow that. Like this, we advise people, right? Or we have other people who advise us, who share their experiences, saying that no, the same thing happened to me then, so I handled the situation in so and so way. You can also try doing the same thing, right? So this is the way we handle something that is very, very important. Now say for example, I'll give you a very everyday example. A child does a mistake. The first thing, the mother goes and she hits the child will never improve, right? But maybe how she handles the situation, maybe she tries to make the child understand in a loving way. She tells it, or maybe even if the child doesn't listen, maybe she raises her voice also, the child listens, right? So the way the situation is handled, either you go and beat the child directly, or maybe you try in a good way by explaining things in a loving manner. Maybe you raise your voice a bit and say, but instead of doing, if you first only go and hit the child, that is the wrong approach. So here the motive or the goal is the same. You want to improve the child, or you want to make the child realize that he or she has done a mistake. But the way we handle that situation, that is what matters. That shows, that is our character. I gave you just a very simple example. It is applicable for everything that happens. Third is behavior, one's own behavior. Now, behavior is something that we also end up judging people, and people also judge. Same thing happened with Rama also, right? Anything that he did, people judged him. You took care of your family. Now that was when Sita, in the Uttarakhand, when we have this story of Sita going to the forest, you have people talking from all sides, right? When Sita was left in the forest, people kept names for Rama, saying that you cannot take care of your own wife, you have left your pregnant wife in the forest. They were against him. Rajadharma, that was where people told that no, this lady has stayed in Ravana's palace for 10 months. We don't know, with an unknown person, with some other man, she is not fit to be the queen of Ayodhya. So logically, both these points were correct to some extent, or to some extent they were wrong. But then Rama was stuck in the middle. He didn't know what to do. So here, behavior, from one's own behavior, people keep judging us at every point. I'll give you my own example. And if I am speaking the way I am speaking now, some people will say that yes, we like your way of speaking. Some might say, now there are about 30-40 people. Some might, 15 might say, no, whatever you are speaking is very nice. Some might say, why you are speaking all this? I am not expecting, I want some other way you speak, right? So in every way, every point of life, we will have people who will keep on judging us. Or we also do the same thing. Why should we always tell others? We also do the same thing, right? The way a person talks or the way a person sits, way a person comes, for each and everything we pass our comments. Look at the way he's sitting, look at the way he's standing, look at the way he's speaking, right? Maybe we do not tell it directly to the person, but yes, these thoughts come to our mind. Or maybe we'll always tell a third person, look at the way she talks, she's very rude. Or look at the way she talks to that person. When she talks to a third person, she talks very nicely. But when she talks to me, she will always shout, right? So we keep on passing in comments. So behavior is something which people look upon very, very easily. Before you open your mouth only, people start commenting. Now this behavior, so Rama was such a person again from whom behavior has to be noted, and the way he has handled situations in his life by showing the right behavior. And when you look at the behavior of Rama, never once we feel that he has committed something or he has done something very evil, or he has not thought about the welfare of anything. Even in such controversial situations like the case of Sita, he has handled that also very nicely. And for that actually destiny had to play, because Sita had said earlier that she wanted her kids to grow in the forest. And even after Sita was left in the forest, she met with Valmiki and so on, and that's how we have got the Ramayana. So Rama knew all this, and that is the reason those events have taken place. But at the same time, people there, it was very important for Rama to leave Sita at that time. Maybe, I'm just telling you, you can say one particular reason that can be, that if the people who passed upon comments, it is even in today's times, if you relate to that, saying that a lady has stayed in 10 months with someone else, tomorrow Rama would have thought in this way that tomorrow in the Kali Yuga also people will think that if I don't leave my Sita now today, it is as if it will become a very easy cakewalk for people then, that it's fine, you stay with some. Now here in this context, Sita was away, but it can be with a man also, right? Man or woman, anyone it is. If you are in a relationship, you have a husband or wife, or it can be any relationship, you have to be very, very stringent on that. You have to stay there only. We must not take it very casual. Okay, 10 months you stay there, remaining for some time you come, because he knew that in the Kali Yuga, in the Treta Yuga, Sita was such a woman wherein she was very strict, she was very firm in whatever she did. She knew that she will not be attracted towards Ravana, Lanka, riches, gold and so on. But in the Kali Yuga, it's not going to be the same thing, right? But then people, what they do is they will not delve deep. They will only read on top, right? They will just have an outlook, and they will declare that yes, Sita lived in the house of Ravana for 10 months, we can also do the same thing. With some other man, let us enjoy. If we get bored, we will come back. Rama knew this in Treta Yuga. That is the reason he said that no, I must follow the rules, because in the Kali Yuga or in future, people will not think deeply about what I do, what is the purpose behind something, and they will not be as strong as Rama and Sita, as myself and Sita, because we have followed the rules of Ekapatni Vrata, Ekapati Vrata. People might not do that. Maybe even from you and me also, there are some, if someone says, like in the case of Sita, now very practically if you think from the point of view of Sita was abducted by Ravana. Any woman or any man, you say, you get a chance to live in a very rich man's house, or giving you all kinds of luxuries or so, and you are maybe living in a forest, that too with a person who has been banished from his own kingdom. We will only think about our future, right? We'll say, okay, what, I don't even know. And that too in the case of Sita, 10 months or 8 months, when for the first 8 months that she was with Ravana, she did not even know where Rama is. Rama also was not aware where Sita is. Sita did not even have a guarantee whether Rama will even come. She did not even know how Rama will come and so on. And that's where Hanuman comes and meets. So for 8 months, she was very, very strong. In our case, maybe for 10 days, we'll be strong. After that, forget who's going to think. Maybe we might be sad, but our mindset will change. I'm not saying that everyone will change, but this is normal human mentality. So therefore, Rama's behavior, or each and everything that he did then, today we keep names upon Rama without knowing his mindset or why certain things have been done. The same thing that we see around today is, immediately we look at, that is the reason why today you see in the news channels, even a small thing happens, it becomes a sensational news, right? 10 or 15 people coming and shouting and debating with each other on useless topics that are there. And we also very, you can say, as if it is very important, we also sit in front of that and enjoy. But on what they debate, on whom they debate, for what reason, we don't know anything. It might be a very simple thing, but it will be something very good, big sensational news that comes in, and people are also interested in that. The recent you have so many movies, this and that coming in, and then that becomes, you can say, like breaking news. So if you look deeply into that, it might be nothing, right? Might be a very small topic or so, or nothing like that would ever have been mentioned. But no, people, we are making a big breaking news out of that and talking. Like in the case of Rama here, I gave you an example that we will look at only Rama abducting Sita, Rama only leaving Sita in the forest, right? But we will not look at the background, we will not think deeply saying that why so and so happened. We will not read the entire 24,000 verses for that. We do not know the context, we do not know the plight of Rama, we do not know in what condition he was leaving. We don't need it. We are not even interested. Even if people tell that you read deeply, you see why so and so things have happened. I don't want to know all that. Why should I know? Rama has left Sita in the forest. But he is not a proper man at all. We are all fools to worship him as Lord. This is where we make statements. I'm not saying that all of us do that. This is what we see around today, right? But at that time, when we make such comments, we forget that Rama was the one who obeyed his father's orders. He left everything and went to the forest. Will you do that? I'm not such a son at all, right? At that time, we also forget that Rama was such a great warrior who has killed so many Rakshasas. 40,000 Rakshasas all by himself in Janasthana. Later in the Rama Ravana Yuddha, so many Rakshasas. We forget all that for establishing Dharma. If Rama had not incarnated then, if Rama had not killed those Rakshasas then, today we would have never lived a safe life. We forget all that. We don't remember all that. For us, no. Rama left Sita in the forest. Rama is an evil man. So why I am trying to tell you all this is, one's behavior that is there, whether you are good or whether you are bad, people are going to always judge you, people are always going to comment. But we must at least, this is human nature that is there, but at least just by looking at someone from outside, or one day someone behaves like this, we should not jump into conclusions. But why here Valmiki has mentioned this attributes of a complete man, when you say why this point has been mentioned is to open our eyes. A very nice word we use, right? Not behavior, we use this word body language. What is body language? You don't have to open your mouth and speak a word. Just by looking at you, people can pass about comments. Look at the way she is sitting, look at the way she is eating, look at the way she is drinking, look at the way she is walking. Every step people judge us. That is nothing but body language. So behavior is something which is very, very important, because people will not remember your names, but people will only remember the way that you treated them or you behaved with them. So in the case of Rama, even not only Rama, the entire Ramayana, the behavior characteristics are also to be noted. Last is values. Let anything happen, Rama would stick to his values, right? He did not tell lies. If he wanted, when Bharata came to Chitrakuta and told him that you come back, you take Ayodhya, my mother has lost her mind, I don't want the kingdom anymore, still his values was truth. He said, no, I have promised my father, I will not break my promise. Your mother also, she would have lost her mind, whatever it is, I don't care about that, I don't even think and worry about that. I will return back to the kingdom only after 14 years, after I have finished my promise. Till then you can rule over Ayodhya. So in spite of Bharata himself coming, you place yourself in a place of Rama, and you think, someone says that no, though the kingdom has been given to me, still I am giving it back to you, there is no problem at all. We will readily accept and go, right? But no. Here Rama says that even if you are ready to give me your kingdom, I will not accept that, because I have already pledged my father that for 14 years I am going to be in the forest, and your mother has asked this boon that you have to be the king. So for 14 years you rule Ayodhya, and after 14 years I will come back and rule. So in spite of the enemy, now in this case now Bharata not a literal enemy, but you can say the opposite person on whom the kingdom was being given, in spite of he himself coming and telling that you accept the kingdom, I am ready to accept that, and even Kaikai crying and asking for forgiveness, in spite of that also Rama did not deviate from his values. And that is the reason, this is just one example. One more example, even in the Rama Ravana Yuddha, even in the last stage after Indrajit, Kumbhakarna and all the other Rakshasas were killed, even then when Ravana himself comes for the war, Rama till then gives a chance to Ravana saying that even now if you return back Sita, we can avoid this war, I will save your life, I will not kill you, you can go and live back with your family happily with whomever is remaining. This again shows the values of that we saw in the previous verse, that is benevolence or kshama, like Prithvi. Kshamaya Prithvi Samaha. Kshama, forgiveness. Saying that even now you can return back, then the war can be avoided. So the motive of Rama was not to kill Ravana. He wanted his wife Sita back, and because Sita was not being returned by Ravana at any cost, it led to the killing of Ravana. So the values of Rama, like this, I'm just giving you one or two examples, but in every instance we can see the values of Rama that are being there. And even then in the end also, when we have the Agni Pariksha episode also, why did Rama do the Agni Pariksha? For that also, as we had seen in the introductory stories also, the Chaya, Sita and so on, we have known the stories, right? So, or even Rama leaving Sita in the forest, I just now told you by how people will look at and so on, right? So like this, in each and every instance that was there, Rama has shown that let anything come in, even if the opposite person says that you do what you want, still I will not deviate from my values, I will not deviate from my principles. This shows how Rama was a complete man, and again a lesson for all of us. Let anything come in, I will not deviate from my values. It is okay, you can change. Now there are so many people around us, right? They say it's fine, you can change for some time. No, I will not change, whatever it is. But maybe they will try to addict us maybe towards some evil things or evil habits also. Let anything happen, my mind has to be very strong, my mind has to be so firm, and I will not get attracted towards all such things. So like this, these are all the values that are there, and we are known by the values that we have. So these are all the different qualities that have been told for a complete man, and all these qualities were present in Rama. Okay, so till here, did everyone understand? Yes?
Yes, please.
Okay, anyone has any doubt? Or you want to share something? It's okay, there's no compulsion that only I have to speak. You can also speak. No? Okay. Now, if there is silence, there can be only two things. Either you understand everything or you don't understand anything. I hope it is the first thing.
We are understanding everything. Right now, I don't have that much knowledge to say.
Okay. So that means I can also ask you all questions, right? If you have understood everything. Okay, let us continue. So with this, we see the qualities of Rama that have been told. Next. These are all Mangala shlokas that we look at later. Now the 18 first verses of Sarga 1 of Balakanda, that is nothing but the Sankshepa Ramayana, that deals with Balakanda. Next is Ayodhya Kanda, that is there. So let's look at that. I'll just share my screen. Now Ayodhya Kanda, please don't get confused here. What we mean is, from the Sankshepa Ramayanam, it is Ayodhya Kanda. So these are all in general a bit of verses that have been told to show the heart of Rama, or in this case it is Rama, but heart of any virtuous person. Mridulam navanitamitam navanitadapi sajjanasya rit tadridam dravati swatapanat paratapa dravate satam punaha. So this is just like a general subhashitam or a general saying you can consider, wherein mridulam navanitam, mridulam is soft, navanitam butter is said to be soft. It is said that navanitadapi sajjanasya rit, navanitad api, more soft, or you can say softer than butter, is the heart of virtuous people. Rit is heart, sajjanaha, good people. Tad idam dravati swadapana, butter melts when it is heated. When you heat butter, it will melt, but paratapa dravate satam punaha. But the heart of the virtuous people, it will melt even if someone else is being burned. So what is the meaning is, to be sad in our own problems, that is one thing. Oh, so many problems are coming in, there is so much dukkha and so on. It is obvious that you are going to be sad. But to feel or to experience the sorrow when someone else is being in trouble, that is where our true qualities are being shown. And when someone else is in trouble, does our heart melt really? That is what shows the heart of a virtuous person. Very beautiful verse. And these are the qualities that were there in Rama also. That is reason why when Jatayu, in the incident of Jatayu Mokshaha you have, at that time Rama did not think, now to do the karma for his own father, that is fine. That is because you are bound by relationship. Then he is your own father, so I have to do the last rites, the karma for my father, that is one thing. But why did Rama do the last rites for Jatayu? Only with the thought that Jatayu is just like my own father. He was the one who tried to rescue Sita. So that can be the reason why we must do the last rites even of Jatayu. or like this so many things. Like for example, even in the case of Kabanda, when Kabanda's hands were being cut off, Kabanda says that you have to just bury me inside, right? Rama did that. He did not think at that time, oh, this Kabanda has just been killed, let me move about. I have to go and meet Shabari, I have to go and meet Sugriva and Kishkinda, I have to go and find out my wife Sita. He did not think this way. He said that no, this Kabanda also has to be given moksha. He feels bad there when Kabanda reveals his story, saying that I was a Gandharva, I was a Yaksha and so on, I got a curse and that's how I was being born. So the point here is to get hurt when someone says, or to feel bad a bit at someone else's sorrow. Our own sorrow comes, it is very easy, but then someone else's sorrow is there, we have to feel sad. For this, I'll give you a very relatable incident. Just came across, I think, on social media only, something I was seeing, and at that time, nowadays how you have those reels and so on. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that. On YouTube also you have small videos, you call them as shorts, right? Reels, shorts and so on. And that there was just a random episode, nothing related with Ramayana. So in that, what she was trying to show is, everyone is close to their one's own parents. The reason being, there is a relationship of a parent and child. Everyone is close to one's own children because again there is a relationship. I have given birth to my children. Like this, there are different relationships. To our own family, we have different relationships. But in a relationship, what is more ignorant or what is more ignored, we can say, or the person who must be given the most, you can say, lot of respect and so on, is one's own wife or one's own husband. Now why? I was also a bit like when I was just going through that, I felt why this person is telling that maybe the person did not say that ignore your parents, children, other relationships and so on, but the person just tried to show that one's own partner, one's own life partner, it can be one's husband or wife, that is one relationship which has to be respected a lot. And it is said that that relationship is alone very selfless. Now why it is said so? The reason being, now parents, we know there is a blood relationship, children there is a blood relationship. So and so person is my father and mother, so I have to respect them. So and so person is my child, so I have to care for them. And all other, he is my uncle, he is my aunt, he is my father's sister, he is my mother's brother and so on, we are close. But to a spouse, to a husband and wife, that is one person which we don't know for half of our lives. Now I am not talking about such relationships wherein they say, I know this person for the last 10 and 15 years and now finally we are just going to officially get married. That is, I am not talking about such things. That is one part of the story. Proper arranged marriages that are there, wherein maybe for the last 20-25 years you don't know a person and one fine day you decide that I have to spend the remaining life with this person. It is said that that relationship, the person, the lady says, that is very, very, you can say that has to be respected more. Why, as she gives an explanation, is that one's husband or one's wife, this relationship is something which is not determined by birth. You don't know which person will come into your life, and once that person comes, there also we are taking a very high risk, huge risk, right? The same thing is applicable today. We have the divorce rates rising up. Reason being, in that relationship only one thing survives. There is no blood relationship, there is no other relationship that comes in. Only one thing has to be there, that is trust. You trust that particular person and then you get married to them, right? So there is only trust that is there. So especially in the case of women, for a man also it is there. In the case of woman, when she leaves her household and comes, there is no great sacrifice than that, it is said. It is not easy to leave. There are many women here, you can relate to this. It is not at all easy to leave one's home and to live in some other person's home. The person might be very good, you are living with that person, you take some time to know the person and all that, that is one part of the story, but still, living with someone whom you don't know for the past years and you want to start a new life altogether, giving up everything and coming, that is not at all an easy task. That is the reason why we must respect all the women out there. So here she did not, the person whom I am talking about, she did not specify only about women, but she told that this relationship has to be more respected, because a person, this is that relationship wherein we spend the major part of our lives, right? Maybe you spend in your parents' home for about 20-25 years and with your children for some part, but then the major chunk that you spend your life is with your husband or wife. This is for people who are married. Even if you are not married, that is one thing, but then what it has been told is, for relationships that are there, most of the relationships are because we are bound with something. Oh, he is my father, he has given me birth, so I have to take care of him. He is my child, I have given him birth, so I have to take care of him. But we must go beyond this. Now, I just give you one example of husband and wife. It can be even with friends around, right? Or even with teachers, teacher-student relationship also. We are bound because of the knowledge that is being shared. Or friends, because we are bound by the affections that we have towards each other. So here through this verse or Ramayana, what it tries to show is that Rama through his own character tries to show is having relationships only within my family, that is not a great task at all. That you must do. You are born with that duty. But maintaining close relationships with everyone around, that is a challenge. You are close with your parents, you are good with your own brothers, you are good with your children, that is one thing. You have a relationship there, you have a blood relation there, you are supposed to do that. There is nothing to boast about. There are people, right, who say, no, I donate so much of money to orphanages, old age homes and so on. My mother is very happy. Every month I send them 1 lakh rupees, they are enjoying. What is the use if you cannot go and spend time with them, right? So like this, when people boast about saying that no, to my parents I am doing this, to my children I am doing this, to my siblings I am doing this, you must do that. That is your duty. There is nothing to talk about that. There a blood relationship exists. What you can do to your friends around or to just random people around with whom you don't have a blood relationship, that is what matters. Rama did the same thing. Therefore, his heart is truly of a virtuous person. Why I am telling you all this is, his heart is truly of a virtuous person. He ended up feeling even for Rakshasas. That is the reason even after Ravana was being killed, he sent Lakshmana there saying that from Ravana you take the teachings that he wants to tell. And even then when Lakshmana stands near the head of Ravana, Ravana does not speak anything. Later he goes near the feet and stands, and that's where Ravana starts speaking. So even here from a Shatru who had abducted his own wife, even from that person also Rama tells Lakshmana, go and learn from him, he has many things to share. So looking at the good in everyone is very, very important. Ravana, though he was evil, he also had a lot of good things. So that is the reason it is said we must always look at the good that everyone wants to give up. There are good and bad things in everyone. You try to look only at the good things, right? So Rama was such a person who did not respect only his blood relations. Blood relations, we are bound to do that. But blood relations is the first step. Next step is with our life partner, for those who are grihasthas, with a husband or wife, whomever it is, because that is one relationship that comes in the middle of your life. So you can say 1/4 of your life, wherein the person is totally unknown, but still what brings the two people close is just blind trust that is there, that this person will always keep me happy, or with this person I can lead a life. And the third step that comes in, third relationship, is maybe friends and random people around. In the case of Rama, it was even with Asuras and Rakshasas. So this is truly the heart of a virtuous person. So when people boast about saying that I take care of my parents, I take care of my children, that is your duty. You are not doing anything out of the world also. But when you help someone or when you do something good to 4 other people whom you would never know, that is where true virtues, or that's where the true heart of a person can be seen. So these are just different examples that have been shown, and through the Sankshepa Ramayanam we get to see the life of Rama, what were his qualities, not only his physical attributes, the qualities that he had in him and how he lived. So each and everything with Rama, I am giving you such a deep explanation, right, for each and everything. So that was the character of Rama. You just look at one thing, you can speak hours and hours on him. So we must not just look at Rama with a person who just went to the forest to fulfill the 2 boons of his father. That was his duty. But in those 14 years and even later and also before, how he handled each and every situation, how each and every step in his life, what each and every action that he did in his life, how that has turned to be a great teaching for all of us. That is the reason why we are worshipping Rama, and the entire Ramayana is being read till date. Otherwise, there are so many things. People tomorrow, if you and me are doing something, nobody is going to remember us, right? Once you die, the person has died. Or maybe 10 years down the lane, someone will tell, no, you had a grandfather naming so and so. When do people remember our ancestors? Harsh reality is when you do the Shraddha Karma or the Amavasya Tarpana, right? Wherein the priest asks you, tell me the names of your grandfather, great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather. And at that time also, sad story. What is a sad story, People write down the names. They don't remember. I have seen this in many places. I might also do the same thing, I don't know. But then people don't even know. Till your grandfather, I know. Great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather, that also people write down in a sheet of paper, right? And sometimes it happens that the priest who is there, he also turns out to be a bit smart. What he will do is he will just guess a few names that are there, and this person also ends up chanting the same names. And usually those who do the Shraddha Karma regularly, you will know that whenever the time comes to tell your father's name or maybe your grandfather's name, whatever, the priest will take a pause, right, to say that no, you tell your father's name, father or whoever the person is. People don't know even that. They will also take a pause and they will wait for the priest to tell. And at that time, some priest they tell, no, you tell your father's name, grandfather's name, whatever it is. And then we will sit and think about. That shows a very, very sad state. We don't know our own family, what we will know and do for all others, right? So this is a thing wherein our life has stooped to this level. I'm not saying that only in today's times people do this. Maybe 100 years back also people did the same thing. But to know the names of our own ancestors, at least till 3 or 4 generations, we must know that. Sitting and thinking on the day of Shraddha, who was my ancestor, or I don't know the names, I don't take their names every day, at least for the sake of Shraddha that you have to do every year. So this shows that either we are not doing the Tarpada every month, or we are not doing the Shraddha Karma every month, or maybe we are not interested to know, and then we expect our future generations to know. They will not even know your names then. If you don't know your grandparents and great grandparents' names, say my father. So you see, children, this is the reason why in the case of Ramayana also now, though this is not directly related to the Ramayana, these are all life lessons which we must know. If you are not reading the Ramayana, if you don't know about Rama, how will your child even know? He will not even hear about them. But if you are reading the Ramayana now, though all of you are attending, you will have a few people in your family also, right? Maybe they are not attending, but they at least know that okay, Sunday, this 1.5 hours, this person is listening to someone talking about Ramayana. So they will, maybe after the class also, or maybe on the first day that you join, they will surely ask you what you are doing, what is this. Surely they will come and ask you. They might not be interested, that is one thing. But then, only when we do something is where we know that something like this also occurs. So in the case of our own ancestors or family traditions that is there, I'm not saying now for the 5 and 6 generations you have to remember and everything. That is the reason why men, while you do your Sandhya Vandana, you chant your Abhivadanam. Abhivadanam shows the lineage of sages to where we belong. Trayarashayaha, Pancharashayaha, Saptarashayaha, whatever it is. 3 sages, 5 sages, 7 sages, we remember, right? So that is the reason it shows the lineage of our sages. So we know, okay, maybe Chavana or Parshurama, whomever it is, Jamadagni and so on, we chant. So whatever it is, we remember our ancestors. And so this is when only the Abhivadanam, if you remember our lineage of sages, then no, I don't remember the name of my grandfather, someone existed. There are so many people, how do you expect me to remember? Till 3 or 4 generations, we must remember. How you will know these names? Next time you listen, you sit for a Shraddha, you see the people chanting. So what I am trying to tell you through all this is, today we remember Rama after thousands and thousands of years. And in case of all of us, people will not remember us after 2 or 3 generations. Even if they remember, that will be only on the day of Shraddha, when the priest tells you chant the name of your ancestors. This is our sad story. So this itself, why I told you all this story is, this itself shows that why Rama is so important, why Ramayana is so important, and why our lives are on such a ground level, and we are focusing on keeping our lives high. I am such a great person, the whole world respects me. So Rama, when we say that Ramayana is false, there is no one who existed like Rama, if such things have been true, then we would never know even the name of Rama today. None would exist. And whereas we feel, so we don't give importance to Rama, Ramayana and so on. We give importance to ourselves, who's going to vanish maybe after 1 or 2 generations, right? And is going to be remembered only on the day of Shraddha. So of course, this is all. I'm not saying it will be nothing to talk bad or good about things around, like people will not remember us and so on. But a few things, when people argue, we might not argue. If we don't believe, then we will not be there in the Ramayana class. But then when people come and argue, or when your own children come and ask you such questions, this is the explanation that you have to give. The same thing that I told you now, you can explain to people in a good way. Of course, we don't have to debate or anything, but then when someone comes and questions us, saying that, well, who is Rama, what is Ramayana, what he has got to do, all this explanation you can give them, saying that you are being remembered only today. After you die, who's going to remember you? We don't know. But this Rama, he is there for 50,000 years or whatever it is. You tell any lifespan. You need not even give the number. You just tell thousands of years back. Even till date, if you are remembering that person, surely that person would have done something great. That is the reason he is being remembered. Without reason, nobody will be remembered. And of course, you have so many proofs, this and that. You have the entire story of Ramayana. You have different proofs that are there. All that you can tell. But why I am telling you all this is someone comes and questions, or for our own belief, we'll all be wondering, right? Tomorrow, maybe 2 or 3 generations, I know people. But then beyond that, I don't know my own family. Then why this Rama is being known, or why Krishna is being known, or why so many great people, great sages, or even all these freedom fighters, this and that, why are they remembered? Why am I not remembered? We'll have this question, right? Or why is my grandfather not being remembered? Only my family knows about him. Why does the entire world does not do? That itself shows that they are surely great souls who have done something great. We are just normal human beings who just come and go about. There are millions of deaths taking place, millions of births taking place every day. So this is how a person, we are not remembered just because we are alive today, because of the good things or the qualities and the work that we do. That only shows our true heart, and that is what shows how we will be remembered. So the heart of a virtuous person, these qualities describe Rama, saying that he felt not only for himself but also for other relations all around. That's the reason why he did the karma for Jatayu, Kabanda and so on. Next, न अभिषेको न संस्कारः सिंहस्य क्रियते वने विक्रमार्जितसत्त्वस्य स्वयमेव मृगेन्द्रता. Now this is a Subhashitam. I think, I'm not very sure, but I think this Subhashitam has been taken from Vikrama Urvashiyam. It is a Sanskrit drama written by Kalidasa. I think so, I'm not very sure on it. But you can, just for your reference, you can note it down. Vikrama Urvashiyam. King Vikrama and Urvashi. Urvashi is an Apsara. So the love story between them, that is a drama written by Kalidasa. Wherein, this is one reference. Some references also say that this verse is from Panchatantra. Panchatantra deals with animal bird stories, so that can be. You can just note down for your information. So this reference is not yet known. So your greatness of people, like in the case of Rama, though now I am talking about Rama, there is no need that I have to praise Rama. Only if I praise Rama, will all of you know the greatness. Without me talking about Rama only, most of you know the greatness, and that is the reason you have joined this class, to know that we know Rama is a great person, we need to know more about him, or we need to know more about his journey. That's the Ramayana. That is the reason you have all joined this, right? Otherwise no one will while off your time. On a Sunday morning, why should I spend 1.5 hours talking about a person who I have not heard, right? So this itself shows the greatness. So no one has to come and tell us, you join this. No, this person, I am really great, come and listen to me. If we go around and tell 10 people, nobody will come. But in the case of Rama, or in the case of great people, we ourselves don't have to go and tell someone, I am great, I have good qualities in me, you come and follow me, you come and give me respect. We don't have to tell this. Because na abhisheko na samskaraha simhasya kriyate vane. Just as a lion does not need abhishekaha, does not need a rajabhishekaha to make him the king. Lion is declared as a king of the forest. Why? Because of his physical strength and because of the gait, the way he walks, G-A-I-T, the way way a lion walks, or the way a lion presents itself. Just by looking at the lion only we feel fearful, right? So the way, or when all the other animals also start running away, we human beings also fear a lion, right? So just by looking at it, it does not need an official coronation ceremony or Rajabhisheka and so on. It is declared as a king of the forest because of its qualities. Vikramarjita Sattvasya Swayameva Mrigendrata. Vikramarjita means those who are real winners or great people, they do not need any such ceremonies. Like in the case of Rama, even though he was declared the king, the Rajabhisheka was done only after 14 years. But even when he was sent to Vanavasa, at that time also people referred to only Rama as the king. They never called Bharata to be the king. For them, Rama was only their king. That is the reason when Rama, Sita and Lakshmana were going to the forest, all the people of Ayodhya stopped them. And even when Bharata and Shatrughna were returning from KK Resha, at that time also all the people of Ayodhya, they turned their backs towards Bharata. And few of them commented also saying that, oh Bharata, we don't want you as a king, for us our only king is Rama. Even without the Rajabhisheka being done, even though Rama was banished from the kingdom and living in the forest with his wife and brother, in spite of that also he was declared the king. Why so? Because of his good qualities. So this is the reason. This is a very, you can say very apt Subhashita that talks about the greatness of people, wherein we don't need any proofs, we don't need any comments to be passed upon, we do not need any judgments. The person, because of his qualities and greatness only, is declared to be the king or is declared to be the leader. Next. Now these are all different verses from different sources that have been taken just to talk about the qualities and the greatness of Rama. From Viveka Chudamani, written by Adi Shankaracharya. Now this is a bit philosophical, many people might relate to it, but still for your knowledge you can note down. अतीतान अनुसंधानम भविष्यद् विचारणम औदासीन्यमपि प्राप्ते जीवन्मुक्तस्य लक्षणम. A very popular and important verse from the Viveka Chudamani talking about the lakshanas or the signs of a Jivan Mukta. What are that? So this is very difficult, but still you can note down. Whatever has been, that is, do not worry about the past, do not think about the future, live in the eternal present, you will always be happy. These are the words of Swami Shivananda. Swami Shivananda of the Divine Life Society, Rishikesh, Uttarakhand. He says in his works that do not worry about the past. No, he says a statement, leave the past, do not worry about the future, live in the eternal present, you will always be happy. Whatever has happened in the past, you cannot change. No use thinking about that. No use thinking about what will happen in future, how many years will I live, what will I do, this, that. Thinking about that, you don't know how life changes. So live in the eternal present. Whatever you can do today, do it today only. Shwahana Vishwastaha, tomorrow isn't promised. This is a popular saying. Today I am alive, next minute also if I am going to be alive, I don't know. Especially in today's times when we have deaths that take place sudden death. And there is again no age that comes in. Hey, yes?
There is a very interesting thing on the same. Govinda used to say, past is history, future is history, present is present. That is why it is called present.
Correct. So these are also the words of whom you said, Ravi Shankarji?
Swami Subodhananda.
Subodhananda, correct. Subodhananda, he belonged to which this?
Bangalore.
Correct.
There's an ashram, ashram in
Yeah. So I have heard about his work, so that's why I just.
He talks only about Krishna. I mean, all his teachings are through and through.
I think it is based on the Gita, right? Mainly.
Yeah, Gita only, and everything teaching of Krishna only he speaks. Everything. He will bring management also in. I mean, Krishna into management discussion.
Correct. So just as Ravi Shankarji also said very beautifully, past is history, future is history, present is present, that's why it is called a present. Correct. So make the most of it. So this is on the same thing wherein, now how you compare it to Rama again. Rama did not worry what happened in the past. That is the reason he never felt bad when he was in the Vanavasa. He never felt that, oh, Kaikeyi has sent me to the forest, she is such an evil woman, and so on. He never thought about that, he never felt bad. Future, he did not know what was going to happen. He did not know that Sita was going to be abducted. Otherwise, he would have made proper arrangements, right? Or if Sita was being abducted and later, if he was anyway going to kill Ravana, he would have never crying for Sita, or he would have never searched upon here and there. He would have never asked the 4 directions. He would have never asked the local birds, animals, deers and so on, where is my Sita, where is my Sita? He cries along with Lakshmana. He would have never done that. So he was a person who did not worry about the past nor the future. He just focused on the eternal present. Here you note the last line, Audasīnyapi mam, Audasīnyamapi prapte, that is indifferent about the present. Now in the present also, indifferent, that means whatever happens in the present, it can be good or bad, behaving and accepting both things equally, that is something which is important. So today good things are happening, so I am very happy. But at the same, in the morning everything good has happened, so I am very happy. In the evening something bad happened, so I am going to be very sad. So this should not have happened. So instead of wasting time upon that, let us take it in a good way, that in the morning, okay, something good happened, but in the evening maybe I get some disturbing news or something evil is going to happen, or maybe I have to put in more efforts or so on. So let me accept both of that equally. So this is something indifferent about the present. So these are signs of a Jivan Muktaha. So Viveka Chudamani, in that what Adi Shankaracharya tries to talk about is, you need not always to be a Jivan Mukta. Doesn't mean that you have to wear orange robes, go to a forest, give up everything, just sit there without any people and things around and just sit and close your eyes and meditate in a Chin Mudra. position. This is not needed. And these are not Jivan Muktas. You have these qualities that are there. Don't worry about the past. Do not think about the future. You just live, put in efforts in the present, accept both good and bad things. These are the lakshanas of a Jivan Mukta. These are the things what a Jivan Mukta does. But now all this to speak is very, very easy, right? Practically to follow becomes difficult. Now if I say that do not worry about the past, we are all worrying about the past, right? Do this happened, that happened, or someone has passed away, or something evil happened to me. We keep on thinking about that. We keep on worrying about the same. About future, bhavishyat avicharanam. Nobody can stop you thinking about the future. We have to think. How you say that don't think about the future, and the other part of the story, people say think about your future, think about your future. You are only talking about both things. Practically impossible. Present, okay, I'm doing, but then good things happen, I'll be happy. But if bad things happen, of course I'm going to be affected, right? And then you say these are the lakshanas of a Jivan Mukta. So here, practically, to read in the Viveka Chudamani, to read this verse, or to tell all this, do not worry about the past, do not worry about the future, live in the eternal present, you will be very happy. All this to listen is very nice. Practically, how far are we doing it? This is where we all fall down. Or this is something, though it seems to be very easy, it is not actually that easy. So that is the reason why, even if you develop these qualities, you will become a Jivan Mukta. This is the essence of the Gita also. The Gita, when you read certain chapters, especially from the 9th chapter to 12th or 13th chapter and so on, you feel that whatever Krishna has told is very easy. The Bhakti Yoga you refer, he says you don't do anything, but you don't cause trouble to others. That itself is a great blessing. That itself is Bhakti. I will consider even that. But how far can we follow that? I don't hurt anyone. Knowingly you might not be hurting. Unknowingly so many people you have hurt, I don't know. You don't know, right? So these are all everyday things that happen. Maybe you stamp about an ant and go unknowingly. Or maybe you are disturbed a bit, you talk to someone in a raised voice, it could have hurt that person. Or maybe on the roadside you are walking about, you see a known person, you see someone whom you know, but maybe you don't smile at them, you have hurt that person. He says, no, purposely he did not smile. He looked at me but he went. Maybe unknowingly you did that. You were in your own thoughts, you don't know what you did. Maybe you were thinking about something, you did not notice the person coming. So from your side you are not at fault, but the person doesn't know all this, right? He will feel that purposely you have ignored the person and gone. Or the same thing happens with us. If we see someone coming from the opposite side and we see that the person did not laugh at me or smile at me, we also feel bad. No, he knows me, purposely he didn't see me, right? So these are all wherein we feel bad. So all this is something when also when I am telling you all such instances, you feel that these are all very sheer mere things, which no use at all talking. Why is she talking about all this? We are talking about great things like Rama, Ramayana and so on, and all this looking and smiling at someone and going about. But all these small things also affect us. This is what Krishna tells Arjuna in the entire Gita. If you read Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Sannyasa Yoga, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, that is all one side. But mere things, even small things, that also affect human beings. What about that, talking about Dhyana, Sankhya and so on? Krishna tells, at a ground level also you are not improving. Then only you will raise up, right? You are worrying about even small things that come in. That my brothers are being killed, what will I do? Such a ground level, you have problems even there. So this is the same thing with Adi Shankaracharya also talks about. To become a Jivan Mukta, you don't have to maybe sit for 24 hours and give up everything and take up sannyasa and go. That is not needed. Even these everyday things you do, that will make you a Jivan Mukta. Here only, this is only problematic. To follow all this in practical life becomes very, very difficult. So Rama has shown even the lakshanas of a Jivan Mukta. One more verse he says, Gudadosha Vishishtesmin Swabhavena Vilakshane Sarvatra Samadarshitvam Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam. Now why I have also included such verses is that to give you a gist of all other scriptures also. Ramayana, I will refer only to the Ramayana. No, we have to open our books and see, open our eyes and see. Only then we can refer to the Ramayana. Now this is my suggestion again. Now even with regards to the Ramayana also, there are a few people who will say that Valmiki Ramayanam is Pramanam, I will read only about that. You consider Valmiki Ramayanam to be the Pramanam, but that doesn't mean that you don't read anything. There are a few works of Devdutt Patnaik, right? I don't know if few of you are familiar with that. Maybe a few youngsters might know it. Devdutt Patnaik, the way he portrays Ramayana, some people do not like that. Or maybe the famous Sita book that is there, he portrays Ramayana through the eyes of Sita. Or the Ravana book that is there, he portrays Ravana to be a good character. So here now, that doesn't mean that you read a book and you have to consider and start believing in that book. You need not believe. But we must surely read to get an idea of the way the author has thought about that. So no, only Ramayana is there, only that is my field, so I will look only upon that. That is something wherein we go wrong, right? We must read other interpretations also. Why there Ravana is being portrayed as a good character, or why he is writing the Ramayana through the eyes of Sita. He is just trying to put in his way of thinking. So we cannot declare anyone wrong, right or wrong. But yes, when someone asks you the Pramanam, it has to be the Valmiki Ramayanam only, because this Arsha Mahakavyam written by Rishis, wherein Valmiki was very much present in the times of Ramayana. So eyewitness only can be believed in. So therefore, Pramanam is Valmiki Ramayanam, but it should not stop us from looking at all other texts. Similarly, when we are looking at the Valmiki Ramayanam, we must not only stick to that. You can look at other related texts also. So that is the reason I have included a few from Viveka Chudamani and so on, saying that, and this is one purpose. Second purpose that is there is Viveka Chudamani. Many people feel that it is very difficult, very philosophical. Adi Shankaracharya has written it with that motive only, to be a very philosophical, you can say, not very easy to understand. But then these qualities are being seen in Rama, and to some extent, if we know, we can also try to practice them. So it's not that everything, just because it seems very difficult, doesn't mean that we cannot follow that. Now, Adi Shankaracharya is known to write this. For example, the Nirvana Shatakam that is there, even the Sadhana Panchakam, 5 verses. Sadhana Panchakam, very, very beautiful text. So like this, there are so many compositions that Shankaracharya does. And in those, or even Manisha Panchakam that he does. So like this, there are so many compositions that are there, which he tries to tell deep philosophy, but through that, a very subtle meaning also can be conveyed. So here in this verse, mark of a Jivan Mukta is Gunadosha. Again the Gita you can compare. Samashatrau cha mitre cha tathamanapamanayoho shitoshna sukha dukkeshu samasanga vivarjitaha. Third purpose of including other scriptures is to show that each of the scriptures try to promote the same teaching. Be it the Ramayana, be it the works of Shankaracharya, or be it the Gita itself, or be it the Mahabharata. And now when you are reading, when I am reading this in that Gunadosha, saying that a person or a Jivan Mukta looks at both good and bad equally. Good things come in, I accept that. Bad things come in, I must accept that also. It's not that life is going to be always good, right? Only good things should come with me. Now there are a few people who will, not few people, every one of us, we will pray that only good things come. Is there anyone who prays that, okay, let all the bad things come on me, I am ready to accept? No one will pray for that. But still, at the back of our minds, we know that something good and as well as bad things are going to come. There is no one here who says that my life is always happy. In the last so many years of my life, 50 years, 60 years, I am only happy. I've got only happy experiences. In fact, if people start talking, we will talk about all our bad experiences only. Good will be hardly. You know what happened to me? All bad things, all problems have come into my life. And you know how I have come over all that, how I have overcome everything. You just have to listen to my life story. If we start talking, there are a few people you see, including us also. We start talking about our problems, there will be no end to it. Whereas the good things that happened, maybe it will get over hardly in 5 minutes. Yes, everything good has happened, that's all fine. But you know what happened? I faced such a problem, and then again we come back to that. This is human nature. So then, guna, dosha, both are there. Good as well as bad things come in. So when we know that bad things are going to happen, in spite of that, we pray that only good things happen. In the case of Rama also, being an avatara of Vishnu, in spite of that, the Ramayana, if you see, is a bunch of both good things as well as bad things. In fact, the Ramayana shows that when at the peak good things are about to happen, like the case of Rama Abhisheka, when Dasharatha decides to make Rama the king, at that time incidents change. In one night, the entire story has changed. At least in that case, our lives are lucky. Maybe in one night things don't change about. It takes some time. Right? So you just imagine the plight of Dasharatha, Rama, and then that till today night I am going to become the king tomorrow, and then within that one night changes, wherein the next morning I have to leave to the forest. I am banished from the kingdom for not 1 day, 2 days, it is 14 years. Just imagine the plight of Rama. But still Rama accepted this with a smiling face and he left to the forest. And once they return back from Ayodhya also, okay, now finally all the problems are gone away, Rama has been made the king, everyone is happy. Again, events change about. Sita is left to the forest. So good, bad, good, bad. So when you compare Ramayana, the case of Krishna, Krishna is born, everyone is happy. The eighth child of Devaki is saved. Even Devaki and Vasudeva are also happy, saying that though our child is not staying with us, at least he is alive. He is staying in a safe place with Yashoda and Nandagopa. And there also, Yashoda is also very happy, Nandagopa is very happy, all the Gopalas, Gopikas, everyone is happy. When in the situation of happiness, Rakshasas start popping in one after another. Putana comes in, Vritrasura comes in, Chakrasura comes in, Trinavarta comes in. Till the end of Krishna's life, Rakshasas are coming in. So even God's lives are also not easy. Then what to compare about human beings? So the reason, this verse of Viveka Chudamani, what it tries to tell is, good and bad are going to be there with everyone, especially in human nature. You have a very popular, like a folklore, it is said that if everything happens good in life, we will never value anything. That is reason when someone, our own family members, they go away from us, at that time we feel their distance more. When the person is staying with me every day, we don't care, right? But one day the person goes away, maybe your own children, they go to a hostel, or maybe after marriage a girl goes, or anything it can be. We feel that difference, right? And we feel, no, you please come back, I'm feeling very lonely. So when we have something with us, we don't value that. Same in the case of money also. That is the reason we have something called savings and investments that we do. Why do we do? Today, money is there. If you just spend it out, I am having money, I spend it out. We don't do that. We think about tomorrow also. What if money is not there? And when money is not there, you go and ask a roadside beggar who does not have money. He knows the value of money. He knows the value of 10 rupees, right? Whereas for all of us, someone, what 10 rupees you are giving, and 10 rupees, what will I get now? Nothing. You give people 1,000 rupees also, some people will not value, right? What 1,000 rupees? That's every day I spend so much. Just giving you an example. So only when people value things that they don't have. So therefore in life also, if an evil thing or if something sorrowful or bad things don't happen, we will never value the good things. This is human nature. Therefore life has got a balance of good as well as bad. Why bad things and evil things come in? To help us value the good things that are there in life, to help us count our blessings. That is the reason when you go about on the roadside, now there are people, right, including us, not only children, they are very stubborn. I want this, I want that. You buy me this, you buy me a car, you buy me a house, you buy me this toy, that toy, they will ask. And at that time, what do the parent or the grandparents, what do they say? You look at that boy on the roadside, the beggar child who is there, he does not have anything, but still he is happy with whatever he has. And at that time the child knows, saying that child knows the value, saying that at least I've got 10 toys, this child is happy with just one. Or many of us when we complain saying that, no, my house is very small, it's just a one room kitchen or maybe a one bedroom hall kitchen, whatever it is, I want a bigger house, this place is not at all enough, we are 4 people. And then you go to a village side house or so, very small house, village side house, or you can say like a slum area or so. There you see in one small room you will have 15-20 people who are living. And then you feel blessed, you count your blessings saying that at least this is not the situation here, at least I am living comfortably. So only when we look at something that is not there, only when we look at anything wherein there is a lack of something, like for example I give you the house wherein just one room where 20 people stay, they don't even have an extra room. Only when you do not have something, or only when there is a lack of something, we realize the value of that. Same thing, the Viveka Chudamani also tells us, good and bad things are going to be there. This is explanation why when we complain saying that why only bad things are happening to me, when we feel bad about that, this is the reason that life has to be, will be a balance of both good and evil things. Only when evil things happen, we will respect the good things. So therefore both things are important, and at the same time looking at both equally. Good things happen, I become overexcited. Bad things happen, I become very gloomy. I plunge into grief. I will never come out of that. That is also bad. So having a balance of both, accepting both good as well as bad, that is very, very important. These are lines of a Jivan Mukta. You don't have to do anything great. These qualities you follow, this will make you a Jivan Mukta. One more is there, okay. इष्टानिष्टार्थ संप्राप्तौ समदर्शित यात्मनि उभयत्र विकारित्वं जीवन्मुक्तस्य लक्षणम्. Seeing everything with an equal eye. This is without changing oneself. This is very, very important. No, with my friend, with this particular friend number 1, I will behave like this. With friend number 2, I will change my nature and behavior completely. Manasa vacha karmana, as we say, whatever I think, whatever I speak and whatever I do, it has to be the same in all situations. No, with one person I will think in this way, I will tell one person something, I'll tell the second person something else, and I'll end up doing a completely different thing. This is very, very, very wrong. This should not be done. So being equal and at the same time not changing one's own nature. This is how I am. You want to accept me, you don't like, you can go away. No, I will change for you. Just because we have to gain, we have to draw the attention of the opposite person, changing one's nature is not at all acceptable. So these are again signs of a Jivan Mukta. साधुभिः पूज्यमानेऽस्मिन् पीड्यमानेऽपि दुर्जनैः समभावो भवेद्यस्य स जीवन्मुक्त इष्यते. Again, good or evil people come in, I will be the same, or I will not be affected at all. Someone is good, okay, I accept that. If you are evil also, that shows his nature. Let me not. If you are also, now there is a reason why whenever, no, he bet me, so I am also going to beat him, tit for tat, right? So at that time, what do the elders say? If he beats you and you are also going to beat him back, then what is the difference between you and him? This is a very common dialogue, right? What is the difference between you and him? Both are the same, right? Then you are also bad, that means, or you are also evil, that means. So therefore, just because someone does something, it's not that we also have to react in the same way. Maybe you can also have your other ways, you don't have to react always. If he hits me, it's not that I have to hit him back, right? Now this doesn't mean that we have to accept it. You keep on beating me, it's okay, even if you take my life, I will not react. It's not like that. But then, he did that to me, I will also give him back. He stole money, I will also steal his money. This is very wrong. This shows your nature, right? So, being equal with good as well as evil people, just because the opposite person is bad or evil, I will also change my nature. This is not acceptable. Now, we continue. The first 18 verses we have seen. Next, now from verse 19 onwards, we are seeing the Ayodhya Kanda. तमेवं गुणसम्पन्नं रामं सत्यपराक्रमं ज्येष्ठं श्रेष्ठगुणैर्युक्तं प्रियं दशरथस्सुतं प्रकृतीनां हितैर्युक्तं प्रकृतिप्रियकाम्यया यौवराजेन संयुक्तम् ऐच्छत्प्रीत्या महीपतिः. From here starts the Ayodhya Kandam of Sankshepa Ramayana, wherein Dasharatha decides to make Rama the next king. Gunasampannam, full of qualities. Satyaparakramam, always truthful. Jyeshtam, as well as Shreshtam. He was elder in age as well as in qualities and values. And Gunai Prakritinam Hitairyuktam. Priyam Dasharatha Sutam is a fond or affectionate son of Dasharatha. And he was the one Hitairyuktam. Hitaha is the welfare, who always thought about the welfare of others. So that is very, very important. For a king, that is something, or these qualities are very much needed, wherein you think about the welfare of other people. Prakriti priyakamyaya. Prakriti is by nature also. Rama is now, he is dear to the people, to the praja, that is one thing. Rama is affectionate with the subjects, that is one thing. The subjects also should be acceptable, right? Subjects should also accept Rama, So subjects should also like Rama. They should also be ready to accept Rama as a king. Both these qualities were there. So therefore, Yauvarajena samyuktam aichhatpritya mahipatihi. So that's where Dasharatha decides to make Rama the next king, to install Rama as the prince, so that samyuktam, Yauvarajena samyuktam, to take care of the welfares of the kingdom. This is where Dasharatha takes his decision. तस्याभिषेकं संभारान् दृष्ट्वा भार्याद कैकेयी पूर्वं दत्तवरा देवी वरमेन मयाचत विवासनं च रामस्य भरतस्याभिषेचनम्. Now here in the Sankshepa Ramayana you have everything that is given in short. So here is where Kaikeyi demands. So here you don't have the entry of Manthara, the maid servant of Kaikeyi, and all of her incident that comes in. Directly it has been mentioned that Kaikeyi comes and asks, when all the preparations were being done, Tasya Abhisheka Sambharan, all the preparations were being done. Seeing all this, Kaikeyi, the wife of Dasharatha, Purvam Datta Vara Devi, Varamena Mayachata, the two boons that were given to her, she comes and asks that, Vivasanam Charamasya, exile of Rama, Bharatasya Abhishechanam, and Abhisheka, the coronation of Bharata. These were the two boons that Kaikeyi asked. स सत्यवचनाद् राजा धर्मपाशेन संयतः विवासयामास सुतं रामं दशरथः प्रियं स जगामवनं वीरः प्रतिज्ञामनुपालयन् पितुर्वचननिर्देशात् कैकेय्याः प्रियकारणात्. Thus, now here, because Dasharatha was very truthful, he could not refuse. Therefore, vivasayamasa sutam, he had to send his son Rama to the forest. Next is Sajagamavanam Viraha Pratignam Anupalayan. Rama also obeyed the instructions of his father and ultimately his stepmother Kaikeyi. Now, why this has been mentioned here separately? They could have just mentioned that Dasharatha sent his Rama to the forest. Merely sending Dasharatha or merely Dasharatha ordering Rama to go to the forest is not enough. Rama also obeyed his orders. If a father tells his son, no, you have to do this, it is not necessary that the son will obey it. The son will say, no, I don't want to do this. If you want, you leave and go, right? Or even if the son might leave the house, but it is not necessary that the son might follow the orders of his father, right? Maybe he'll never have a relationship with his father anymore, saying that my father is a fool, he's going to send me to the forest, why should I even live with this father? This is the normal mindset of a child, right? But here, therefore, a separate verse has been mentioned even in Samkshepa Ramayanam, saying that Dasharatha ordered Rama to go to the forest, but Rama also obeyed the same. He did not disobey. So this shows, or why so much of this, you can say, emphasis has been mentioned here. There is a reason for everything. And just because Valmiki had to complete the number of 100 verses, one more extra verse has been added, wherein we say that Dasharatha sent Rama to the forest, Rama also obeyed the same. Not just to fill the quota of 100 verses or 24,000 verses, an extra verse has been added. There is a reason. If a father has to tell, it's not on the part of the son to obey. The son also obeyed. That is very, very important. So, Sajagamavanam Viraha Pratignyam Anupalayan. Rama to obey the commands and orders of his father. And Piturvachana Nirdeshat Kaikeya Priyakaranat. He went to the forest. Thus, the king could also keep his promise that was given to Kaikeyi. Tam Rajantam Priyo Brata Lakshmanonujagamah Snehad Vinaya Sampannas Sumitrananda Vardanaha Brataram Daido Bratus Saubhratramanudarshayan. The contribution of Lakshmana is mentioned. Lakshmana Tam Rajantam, he was attracted or he was drawn towards Rama. Snehad Vinaya Sampannam. Snehad is affection. Vinaya is very modest, very humble. And Sumitrananda Vardanaha, he was the one who, that is the reason when Lakshmana goes and asks permission from his mother Sumitra, one thing that she tells is, what are you doing here still? Which mother will tell this? She tells him that I want you to follow Rama. From this day onwards, Rama is your father, Sita is your mother, the forest is Ayodhya for you. And when you come back after 14 years, my head should be high with pride, saying that my son Lakshmana has followed and served Rama and Sita. Both of them should come and tell me that you were like a son to them. These were the words of Sumitra. She tells Lakshmana. Now all this again you will get to find in the commentaries, not directly, like we have to understand, read between the lines. The commentaries, some people speak very beautifully on this, and they say that Sumitra tells Lakshmana, you yourself coming at the end of 14 years and telling that I did this mother, I did that mother, I was awake when Rama and Sita were sleeping, that is all not needed. You coming and telling me, you will of course boast about yourself. Someone else, a third person should come. Rama and Sita, both of them should come to me and say that your son Lakshmana has served me, and that is the day when my head will shine up with pride. So this is Sumitra Ananda Vardanaha. This is what Lakshmana really did. That is the reason Sumitra was very, very happy. And Brataram Daito Bratu Saubhratramanudarshayan. So thus showing the qualities and the respect towards his elder brother, Lakshmana also followed Rama to the forest. Ramasya Daita Bharya Nityam Prana Samahita Janakasya Kule Jata Devamayeva Nirmita Sarva Lakshana Sampanna Narina Muttama Vaduhu Sita Vyanugata Ramam Shashinam Rohini Yatha. Next verses talk about the qualities of Sita. Ramasya Daita Bharya, the wife of Rama, Nityam Prana Samahita, just like life to Rama. Janakasya Kule Jata, born in the family of Janaka. Devamayeva Nirmita, she was born by Devamaya, or you can say incarnation of goddess Mahalakshmi herself. Sarva Lakshana Sampanna, having all good qualities. Narina Uttama Vaduhu, amongst women, Vaduhu, the great lady, or you can say like an inspiration. That's why in the Panchakanya you have the list. Ahalya Draupadi Sita Tara Mandodari Tata Panchakanya Smare Nityam Mahabhatakanashanam. Ahalya, Draupadi, Sita, Tara, Mandodari. These 5 women are inspirations for the entire woman clan. Panchakanya Smare Nityam Mahabhatakanashanam. Just by remembering their names, all our sins are vanished away. This has been told. Sita is one of them. Sita Pyanugata Ramam Shashinam Rohini Yata. Sita also followed Rama to the forest, just as Shashi is moon, Rohini is a wife. Just as Rohini and moon wife of the moon god is Rohini, just as both of them are never separated from each other. Similarly, Sita also followed Rama to the forest. Now, why this explanation or why this comparison of Rohini and Soma, that is the moon, is given? You can find this in many places in the Ramayana, even in the Sundarakanda also you have many references. The reason being, this Rohini is one of the 27 daughters of Daksha Prajapati. And Daksha Prajapati had ended up marrying all his 27 daughters to the moon god. But it is said that Chandrama, he neglected all of them. He was only affectionate towards his one wife Rohini. So that love and affection that he had towards all the daughters of Daksha, he ended up giving that only to this one daughter, that is Rohini. So all his affection, he ended up showering it only on Rohini. So you just imagine, of 27 wives, if you together for 27 people, you shower everything on one person. Imagine the amount of love and affection and respect that the moon god had towards Rohini. Sita also had the same thing towards one Rama. So therefore we have this comparison that is done in many places to Shashinam and Rohini. Also you have with the sun god also, but main is moon god and his wife Rohini. Next, पौरैरनुवतो दूरं पित्रा दशरथेन च शृङ्गिवेरपुरे सूतं गङ्गाकूले विसर्जयत् गुहमासाद्य धर्मात्मा निषादाधिपतिं प्रियं गुहेन सहितो रामो लक्ष्मणेन च सीतया. The citizens of Ayodhya, they all kept on following Rama, and then Rama, Shringiverapura is the place that Guha who was a childhood friend of Rama and also the head of the tribe, the leader of the tribes who are the Nishadas, he met on the banks of the Ganga. Rama met his childhood friend and the leader of the Nishadas, Guha. Until then, now if you read the entire story of Ramayana, you will find that all the citizens of Ayodhya, they were following Rama, Sita and Lakshmana on the chariot. And that's where one day early morning Rama wakes up before sunrise. He tells Sumantra that silently you take the horses away. We will leave the people here. You drive the chariot in such a way that even the hoofs of the horses cannot be seen. Otherwise the people will follow, right? The hoof marks that are there on the sand, seeing that people will follow. So you ride the chariot in such a way that the horse's hoof marks can also not be seen. So you look at the way Sumantra's skill was also there of riding the chariot. So, and that's how Rama goes away. Then all the citizens of Ayodhya, they keep searching and ultimately they had to return back to Ayodhya. So after leaving from this place, that's where they meet. He meets Guha and Guhamasadya Dharmatma Nishadadipatim Priyam Guhena Sahito Ramo Lakshmanena Cha Sitaya. Along with, and at this place Shringaberapura, Rama sent Sumantra also back to Ayodhya, and along with Sita and Lakshmana, he crossed the river Ganga. तं वनेन वनं गत्वा नदीस्तीर्त्वा बहूदकाः चित्रकूटमनुप्राप्य भरद्वाजस्य शासनात् रम्यमावसतं कृत्वा रममाणा वनेत्रयः देवगन्धर्वसङ्काशास्तत्र ते न्यवसन् सुखम्. Next, they kept on crossing different rivers, they kept on crossing different forests, and they finally reached Chitrakuta mountain as told by Bharadwaja. And Ramyama, everything was very pleasant there. Lakshmana built a very beautiful hut for them. All three of them, Ramamana Vanetrayaha, all three of them lived there very happily. Devagandharva Sankasha, they were frequented by Devas and Gandharvas who were living around there. They used to come and meet Rama. Everything was going upon very nicely. Nyavasan Sukham, they lived there peacefully. The next part is where Bharata and his entire clan comes to meet Rama. So today time is up. We will stop here.